Prochazka versus Teixeira 2, the rematch is close to being finalized for UFC 282, but not as the headliner, which is very important because this could mean that Jones versus Miocic is really going to be the headliner of UFC 282, and there are some rumors around that. Also in the news, Movsar Evloev has pulled out of his fight against Bryce Mitchell in the main event of their card, and that means that now they're looking for a replacement. Could it be Ilia Topuria? Apparently not. Could it be Sadiq Youssef? Apparently not. What are we going to do about that situation? Who knows? And also, the GOAT of the sport himself has returned. Okay? Chael Sonnen will be taking on Tito Ortiz in a rematch in a very short time. And I did not see this coming, to be honest with you guys. So that's what we're going to break down on today's video, amongst many other bits of news as well. Let's start straight away with Jiri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira, the rematch, not the main event of UFC 282, which is very, very big news. However, going to be happening, so that's good. Jiri Prochazka's confirmed it as well. He's all aboard. I'm sure Glover Teixeira is not going to pass up this opportunity to get his rematch. I was thinking that they were going to do this on the January card because, of course, Glover's a Brazilian title contender, but they're going to do it in December, and it has not been announced as the main event. And normally with a fight of this size, a light heavyweight world championship bout, surely it would be announced as the main event if they were going to make this fight happen. I mean, we haven't got long until that card in December anyway, so, you know, it's December the 10th. We got about 8 weeks left until that card starts. And that's not been announced as the official main event. So I'm feeling as though that fight being made on that card, one, it's an amazing fight, and we can talk about the rematch a little bit here, but it also means that maybe Miocic versus Jones is going to get made. And I hate to use him as a source because I think he's a scam kind of guy. But skinny bets. I just got word from one of my UFC insider plugs. And wow, UFC 282, man, the return of the greatest MMA fighter of all time is back. Holy, I got to be there front row for that in Vegas. And I don't know how much to believe of that, because skinny bets, if you look into it, a little bit interesting way of making money. But I feel as though he's right anyway, though. I think it's just like he's just saying it and Full Violence is posting it because Full Violence seems to post anything that Skinny Bet says. But I feel like he is right. I think we are going to see Jones versus Miocic as the main event of UFC 282. And if we are going to see that, then UFC 282 is looking like another card of the year candidate, especially if we have some of the other fights made official. We've also got Korea, which has just been announced. I think obviously the Korean Zombie is going to be on that one, but we're looking at UFC 282. Allegedly Prochazka versus Teixeira. On Tapology, it's the main event, but I'm not seeing no official main event said by anyone. Tapology just putting it that way because it's already got a bunch of other main card fights, but none of them have been officially made for the main card. Tapology is just assuming that it's going to be on the main card. So far we've got Prochazka Teixeira 2, Blachowicz Ankleev, Darren Till Duplessis, Rosenstruik Dorcas, Gustafsson St. Preux, Pons Nibio versus Lawler. Other massive fights on the card. Curtis versus Buckley is a big fight on the card as well. I'm really looking forward to it. Bo Nichols on the card as well, on the prelims. He won't be happy about that one. I guess this means the end of Bo Nichols' career. He said he was going to retire if he ever got put on the prelims. Also, Quarantillo versus Hernandez is on the card. I mean, this is an amazing card, but I feel as though it's missing that main event of Jones versus Miocic. So hopefully that will be taking place, and I'm really looking forward to it if it does. I'm really looking forward to it. But let's talk about Teixeira versus Prochazka 2. I'm taking Teixeira. Because people talk about the guillotine in round 5, but they don't talk about all of... And listen, like, he went for the guillotine, whatever. That was such a non-thing for me. But because Bisping had an absolute rage, CTE rage about it on the commentary, like, it got made to be a bigger deal in the fight and stuff like that. There were so many moments early on where Jiri Prochazka made, like, Houdini escapes of Glover Teixeira. Whether that be escaping full mount, escaping his back being taken, escaping like an arm triangle attempt that Glover Teixeira had. Glover Teixeira had so many moments early on in that fight, and Yuri did as well in round 3 and round 2. He had Glover Teixeira hurt in round 2. He almost finished him in round 3. However, he lost position and ended up on bottom again, going for his own arm triangle, I believe. But I just feel as though there were so many moments that Glover had a good position that normally it would be a fight-ending moment for Glover to have that position, but Yuri just like Houdini, he Yuri'd his way out of it somehow. I don't think I'm going to count on that happening a second time around, and maybe Yuri's going to improve more, and Glover's taken a lot of damage, and he might not be ready for this comeback fight, but I feel as though Yuri's going to lose this one, and I think they're going to make Glover an underdog again, and if they do, I'm taking it again, okay? I don't know, maybe I'm going to be the guy that never picked Glover when he was an underdog and won, and always picked him as an underdog when he lost, but I'll happily be that guy and sleep well. Glover Teixeira, I think, is going to get a good underdog win here against Yuri, and I hate to say that. I really hate to say that. Maybe a trilogy, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Moving on to another news story, which is that Movsar Evloev is out of his fight against Bryce Mitchell. And Full Violence is posting something like, nobody wants to fight Ilia Topuria. Since Movsar Evloev is out of the Bryce Mitchell fight, this is what's around Ilia currently via Satana Sports. Bryce doesn't want to fight Ilia in November 5th is close. Sadiq Youssef also refused Ilia because of no full camp, but wants to step in against Bryce. Alex Caceres refused Ilia Topuria too. So this is a very, in my opinion, I don't know about you guys here, but this is a very Ilia favorited post here. I like Ilia Topuria. I've been on the Ilia bandwagon. But, like, why are we phrasing this around Ilia Topuria, Full Violence? Like, I get that's what the story said. But, like, have some objective reasoning here. Sadiq's higher ranked. So if Sadiq's looking to take on the fight against Bryce Mitchell, then Bryce Mitchell would obviously rather fight Sadiq Youssef than Ilia Topuria. And also, Ilia Topuria and Bryce Mitchell have the same management team. So their management team is not going to want them to fight each other, let alone on short notice, out of nowhere, scavenging together a main event. They're not going to want them to fight each other. We see this with Ali Abdelaziz not wanting his people to fight each other, and his people that he manages to fight each other, because he's a killer, lol, and all this stuff. Like, wow, this is sad. He's dangerous. No one wants them hands. Like, this is a very favoritized post that I'm seeing here. Like, use some objectiveness. Alex Caceres refused Ilia Topuria too. To step in on short notice and fight Ilia Topuria. Like, who cares about Alex Caceres, first of all? But second of all, Youssef is the one that wants to step in and fight Bryce Mitchell. Refused Ilia Topuria because of no full camp, but wants to step in against Bryce. You're acting like that's a hypocritical thing. Why would you take on Ilia Topuria when you can take on Bryce Mitchell? Why would Bryce Mitchell take on Ilia Topuria when he can take on Sadiq Youssef? Mitchell's higher ranked. Youssef's higher ranked. Ilia Topuria's best win is against Ryan Hall. I don't even know if he's ranked at featherweight. I mean, he got the win over Jai Herbert, and that moved him up at featherweight to the rankings, which was very strange that happened because that win was at lightweight. But I don't know. I think we need to, like, stop, you know. Like, obviously you would take on a higher ranked guy. Hey, Bryce Mitchell, your opponent of Movsar Evloev's out. Like, he was willing to take on Movsar Evloev. He's not scared of Ilia Topuria. You know what I mean? Hey, Bryce Mitchell, Movsar Evloev's out. Do you want number 12 or number 14? I'll take number 12 if I'm Bryce Mitchell. Hey, Sadiq Youssef, you want an opponent? Number 14, Ilia Topuria, or number 9, Bryce Mitchell? I'll take number 9, Bryce Mitchell. So we're seeing a little bit of interesting stuff around Ilia here, but it just makes sense that they don't want to fight him. And in all honesty, he should just fight the next down opponent. Fair enough, like, Alex Caceres is ducking him and Edson Barboza pulled out, but, like, let's see a different matchup for Ilia Topuria, and if he wins that one, then we can see him jump up the rankings, or punish Movsar Evloev for pulling out of his fight with Mitchell and regroup him against Ilia Topuria later this year. We'll see, though. I want to see Ilia Topuria fight, but I don't think we should be playing this game like everyone's ducking him. You can't duck someone to take on a better opponent. That's not ducking someone. That just never made any sense to me, but hopefully they get all that stuff figured out. And also, Mitchell and Topuria are the same management team, so they're not going to want to fight each other, which is very interesting. However, some other bits of news that are going on right now. Tito Ortiz versus Chael Sonnen 2 is in the works for February 2023 in MMA. According to Tito Ortiz, though, and this is the problem with some of them sources, I ain't heard nothing from Chael about this. So I can't say that this news story is undisputed in terms of how trustworthy it is. I feel as though Chael wins because Tito's been focusing on boxing for the past however long. And I think Chael can just out-wrestle him because I trust Chael to roid up. I trust Chael to do what's right and jump on the sauce for this matchup, okay? That's all I'm going to say. I think Chael jumps on the sauce. Tito doesn't. Maybe Tito has a bit of TRT still, but Chael's going to be on all the good stuff to make sure he gets this revenge against Tito Ortiz. So if it does happen, we'll see how it goes. I forgot how the first fight went exactly, but I'm just going to check it now. I know Tito Ortiz won, but I think it was like I want to say guillotine second round off of my recent memory that I have. I'm just going to check it out now. It was a moment where Chael kept losing by like guillotine or submission in the second round. So I'm on Chael Sonnen's thing here. I don't see his name anywhere. Rear naked choke first round. Wow, Chael. Domination, that sounds like to me. Rear naked choke first round for Tito Ortiz. Oh, I think he threw himself... this was when Chael has some interesting decision-making skills, I tell you, because he was even on top of Fedor as well, and he, like, threw himself off of him. Like, Chael has really interesting decision-making sometimes in fights recently, so we'll see how it goes. But I do believe he's going to be able to sort of find the grappling on Tito Ortiz and get this one done against him. I believe in Chael Sonnen here, so we'll see how it goes. I know he wants to get that one back as well, so we'll see. But that's good stuff. Looking forward to all these moments. There's another bit of news. Hasbulla has signed a deal to fight in the UFC. So maybe they are actually just going to do a Hasbulla versus... what's it called fight? Abdurazik fight. That could be an interesting turn of events for the sport. I don't know. Charles Oliveira's walking a lion. I don't like that. I like it. Like, it's cool. Charles Oliveira looks really cool and he's tensing next to it and all that type of stuff. But when I don't know, man. I mean, maybe I'll just stop talking about MMA for a second and just say it. Like, I hate zoos. And I hate animal cruelty like this. Like, the lion's clearly in, like, such a bad, timid state. And it has to be in order for it, like, a lion that's intention is to kill you. What do they have to do to that lion to make it walkable? I have a dog of my own. It was a nightmare getting that dog to, like, actually go for a walk correctly. Okay? Imagine what they have to do to a lion physically to subdue it into a state where it's surrounded by things it could easily kill and eat for fun, and it's walking next to him. I just hate that type of stuff. But it looked cool, so whatever. But I don't like that. Like, even when I was a kid and we went to, like, the zoo with the school, I just hated it. I just don't like zoos and stuff. And also, we need Gregor Gillespie back, whatever. Leon Edwards was with Tate, so that's probably just got me demonetized saying his name, even his surname. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, good stuff. Looking forward to all of the fights coming up. We've also got word that the trilogy is in the works for UFC 285 in March for Edwards versus Usman. And I believe Edwards is going to win that trilogy. At sea level, Leon is a different level. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, looking forward to the fights this weekend. That's all it is. Just a little rundown of the MMA news. See you later. Thank you for watching. Toodle Pip. Guten Tag.